Welcome. We are here today to help you answer the question, am I eligible for dual citizenship with Italy through blood rights? This educational video is assuming your ancestor moved to the US, and you are exploring US and Italy dual citizenship. You may have heard that Italy allows their citizens to pass down citizenship through blood right across generations, assuming you can prove you meet the criteria. Today, we are going to look at the two things you will need to research to confirm that you are eligible for dual citizenship. 1. Are you able to trace back to the ancestor that was born in Italy in your bloodline? 2. Can you confirm there was no breakage of eligibility in the line prior to your birth? We'll assume for now you've got number 1 in hand and know all the potential ancestors that you can trace back to Italy, so we'll talk about a few rules and look at some examples to understand how a breakage in eligibility can occur. A big consideration is whether you are tracing a paternal line or a maternal line. In general, a paternal line will be easier to trace because females were unable to transfer Italian citizenship to their children prior to January 1, 1948. Let's look at two examples to see how this would play out. Example 1. Leonardo was born in Italy in 1890. At some point he moved to the US and had a daughter Rosina in 1915. Rosina then had a daughter Rosa in 1940, also born in the US. Leonardo is an Italian citizen due to his birth in Italy. For now, we will assume Leonardo had no reason to lose his Italian citizenship prior to Rosina's birth, and therefore, Leonardo was able to successfully transfer his citizenship to Rosina, even though she was born in the US. Assuming Rosa's father was not an Italian citizen, Rosa is not eligible for Italian citizenship because her mother Rosina was unable by law to transfer citizenship since Rosa's birth was prior to 1948. Let's take a look at example 2. In this scenario, Leonardo was still born in Italy in 1890. However, Rosina was born in 1925 and Rosa was born in 1950. For all the same reasons as before, Leonardo and Rosina are Italian citizens. This time, Rosa is also an Italian citizen and able to follow her mother's line since she was born after 1948. What other considerations do we need to look at? Renounced citizenship. If the Italian citizen naturalized prior to the birth of the next person in your line, then they could not pass down citizenship. This one is going to require a bit more research on your end to identify if and when your ancestor naturalized and if that impacted your line. Once again, we will look at a few examples. Example 3. Leonardo was born in Italy in 1880. In 1900, he moved to the United States. In 1914, Leonardo had his U.S. citizenship recognized. In 1915, Leonardo had a child named Pietro. In this case, Leonardo lost his Italian citizenship in 1914 and therefore Pietro and everyone in Pietro's line is not eligible for Italian citizenship since Pietro was born after Leonardo's renunciation. Example 4. Same as the scenario before, Leonardo was born in Italy in 1880 and moved to the US in 1900. In this case, he also had a son, Carmine, in 1913. In 1914, Leonardo had his US citizenship recognized. In 1915, Leonardo had a second child, Pietro. Following this series of events, Carmine is eligible for dual citizenship with Italy from his father Leonardo because he was born prior to Leonardo renouncing his Italian citizenship. However, Pietro, and therefore everyone in Pietro's line is not eligible for Italian citizenship since Pietro was born after Leonardo's renunciation. This is a great example where siblings with the same father, or cousins with the same grandfather may have differing results in eligibility. So, how can I verify if my ancestor obtained citizenship and the effective date? A good source is the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Ultimately, you will need to submit paperwork from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services with your application, so this is a great place to start. We can go deeper in a future video on paperwork collection for your application. Another source is the U.S. Census files. There is a citizenship question on the census files. Let's decode a couple acronyms. AL means alien, which indicates that your ancestor was not yet naturalized. PA means first papers, which indicates that your ancestor had filed paperwork to start the process to apply for U.S. citizenship, but it had not yet been granted. It's worth noting that many immigrants to the U.S. did not speak English, and therefore, even if they did submit paperwork, they could be denied U.S. citizenship for this reason. Meaning that they didn't really know what they were signing up for, so the U.S. denied the application. For this reason, it's important that you ultimately request the application paperwork from the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services to see if they were granted citizenship or not. And verify the effective date to determine the impacts to your line. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. If there is another topic that you'd like to see me cover, please put it in the comments. Ciao.